So obviously one of the nice things about having an RV is being able to just live someplace else for a period of time and still be able to call it home. So far, we really liked this KOA we were staying at in St. Augustine. It was a nice park. It was big and plenty of room to get the dogs out every morning and take them for a nice long walk. And we were looking forward to getting out and exploring the city some. So in addition to Kelly and I being in St. Augustine, Deanne and Kara had decided to come down and try to rent a place to stay to get out of that Hendersonville cold, just like we were trying to do. And they were really looking for a house. We looked at condos first, but didn't really like the look of the condos. So then we honed in on trying to find a house to rent and finally ended up finding a place that Deanne liked. Excuse the cheesy video quality here, but I had some technical issues. So anyway, this is the house. We found this place, I believe it was through HomeAway ultimately, and it was nice. It was just a couple of blocks from the beach and it was fairly close to the KOA, so they had been staying in a hotel and until they found a place. And once we got this house, got them all moved over there and they were ready to explore St. Augustine with us for the week. Whenever we're traveling, we are always on a quest to try to find the best local restaurants. With all the reviews online now, you can kind of get a good idea if the reviews are statistically significant. And so for lunch today, we settled on this place. So this is the Beachcomber restaurant, obviously right on the beach here in St. Augustine. And we had lunch here today, and I would give it a resounding 2 thumbs up. So here we are walking the streets of St. Augustine. I vaguely remember this, Kelly and I. How long ago were we here, Kelly?
Like 35 years.
Like 35 years ago we were here, and I vaguely remember it. Vaguely. So in the afternoon, Kelly and I decided to drive down to downtown St. Augustine, the actual old town part. St. Augustine's big claim to fame is that it's one of the oldest cities in the United States. And as such, they've got some landmarks there. One of them, of course, being the big fortification. This Castillo de San Marcos is a 17th century Spanish fortress. They say it's like one of the oldest masonry structures in the United States. And so we crawled around that thing for a little bit. The downtown area it's a mixture of tourist type shopping and restaurants, and I believe some residential down there as well. Pallets and bags. not long after Kelly and I had gotten married, we decided to go on a road trip. I can't imagine, I don't remember how that all originated, but we decided to go on this road trip after we first got married on a vacation, and we drove from Texas all the way out to Florida and actually visited St. Augustine. We then drove on down to Disney World, I remember, but we did spend some time in St. Augustine, and some of this was somewhat familiar, and Kelly and I just spent the rest of the afternoon tooling around, checking out St. Augustine. I would definitely recommend the KOA in St. Augustine if you were a person was wanting a place to park their RV for a while. We really liked the park. It was nice, it was big, there was plenty of room to walk the dogs. They had these cool cabins to rent. Now, they were nothing on the inside of them. They were pretty bare bones, but the cabins themselves were pretty cool, and the setting was also pretty cool. So KOA St. Augustine is a definite recommend. Our activity for the afternoon was to head out to the historic St. Augustine Lighthouse. The lighthouse looms over the city. Of course, you see it every time you're driving around, and it's a restored building. They've fixed it up really well and restored it back to its original colors and condition. And if you're up to it, you can climb up the 219 steps to the top and get you a really great view of St. Augustine area. This is the lighthouse in St. Augustine, Florida, and we are getting a wonderful view of the area and the Atlantic. So we got lucky with the weather that day. It was really pretty, so the view from up top of the lighthouse was really great. Got up there right close to that, and wonderful, those lenses, those beautiful lenses that they made. Those things were imported from France way back in the day, if you can believe that. Now, in addition to the lighthouse, on the grounds was the keeper's house. They had two families lived in this house right next to the lighthouse, and their job obviously was to keep the thing burning at night. They had to haul buckets of oil up the stairs all night long to keep the light burning, and they had to polish the lens to keep it as bright as possible. And in addition to that, on the grounds, they also have a little research center where they are doing research on items, the shipwreck items that they found with the rich maritime history in the area. There's a lot of shipwrecks through the years, and they are actively exploring and unearthing some of those items still to this day. So all in all, we had a really good time exploring the lighthouse. It was nice. And just like that, our week in St. Augustine was coming to a close. It was time to get the camper all packed up, pull up stakes, and we were going to be on the road again. This time we were heading west. We were going to be in the Florida Panhandle, and we were headed to Torreya State Park. So we will see you guys on the road.